Okay, we have started the pod. Let me quickly just do my little thing here, my little intro. Welcome back. Well, okay. Okay. Whoa, 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 whoa. Listen, you're behind the counter. You just calm your taters for a second while I record the intro, and then I'll talk to you. Okay? That's how this works. Right. So let me just reset here. Okay. Welcome back.
Wait a second.
Hold on. Okay. Whoa. What are we confused about? What are we confused about? What's the problem? What's the problem? You're over there.
Oh my gosh.
You just listen. Hey. Listen, Mr. Service Industry. Why don't you just take your little apron and shove it in your mouth real quick? I gotta read this, okay? Okay. Welcome back, one and all, to the what? Okay, what is it? Did you just spill some? Oh my gosh, it's so hot! Ouch! Ow! Why is your coffee so hot?
It's okay. I'll clean it up. Swift, can you?
No, don't touch me. It's burning.
Grab the other coffee cup from the one that I made.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, dude, I just spilled another one.
Oh my god! See, you spilled it on my shoes.
Dude.
Ow! Okay, why is it? Okay, it's not just like hot burning. It's like there's like a sizzle. There's an audible sizzle right now.
It's okay. It's one of our favorites. It's a classic. Everyone loves it.
It is currently burrowing through the linoleum right now. What do you mean?
Let me get you another one.
No, don't make me another one. Literally don't. I need like anti-coffee. Whatever your coffee is, I need the opposite of that. Welcome back, one and all. Okay, listen. All right, listen. Listen, pal.
Okay.
Listen, bub. Listen, chum. I can get coffee somewhere else. I know where the other coffee place is. All right, you guys don't. I do. Okay.
We don't talk about those guys over here.
I'm never telling you where the location of your one and only competition is in this office building if you do not put a sock in it.
Okay, WubDub, we gotta lock in.
Welcome back, one and all, to the Morphing Tower podcast, the podcast where every episode is markedly different. And I would like to start off by reading a memo that I received. This is from the Workplace Safety Committee and reads thusly. Dear employees of the Morphing Tower, it's that time of year again to renew your workplace safety certification. The timing of this recertification is serendipitous considering the incident involving a fire-breathing homunculus and the annual chili cook-off. Please familiarize yourself with our updated safety guidelines, signed WSC. And it's always great to know that the safety people are actually, at least somewhat cognizant of the horrific monstrosities that are around us every day at this office place. And I would just like to start off by welcoming two very special guests from a podcast, The Coffee Spill, that I just found recently, and I just found out that they actually have a little pop-up coffee shop in the Morphing Tower. Welcome to the show, WubDub and NotTooSwift.
Hey. Yeah. I enjoy drinking coffee.
It's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, I had a question about like the ingredients, because whatever is in the coffee that you spilt on my shirt's like sort of discoloring, and the best way I can say it's like sloughing off.
Right. Swift, take off your shirt.
Oh, okay.
You can have it.
Oh, you are literally giving me the shirt off of his back. Okay, thank you.
Hey, man.
Wow, so gracious. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that for the audio listeners, the rest of the episode, NotTooSwift in their head has no shirt but still has the apron because of what you just did.
Swift, I'll give you my shirt.
Okay. All right. You know what? Actually, WubDub, give me your shirt. Here, Swift, you take your shirt back.
Okay.
Yeah.
You take this.
Okay. Yeah. Wow, this is not my size at all. I am swimming in this. Actually, can I have not Swift? Can I have yours back? Actually.
Yeah.
He's too lanky.
Give him my shirt.
My body. I'm built like a doorstop. You gotta give me the one that's gonna fit. Just give it. Let go of it. Give it back.
Yeah, I actually have a coffee themed shirt. in the back.
Is it just are those just coffee stains? Is that
It's
just
just
a white
coffee
shirt
stains.
with coffee stains? Let's
I tried
call
to
it
turn it into something, but it didn't work.
coffee themed shirt is just dirty coffee shirt. Got it. Oh, but it smells nice.
Yeah, I mean, you know what it goes with though? It goes with this warm cup of coffee.
I don't
I'll slide
want
it to you. I'll slide
no,
it to you.
okay, just don't
insist on
slide it. Okay, don't slide it like you slid it last time, which was what I would call
Sorry.
a throw. All right, just
Sorry.
slide it ever so slightly, gently.
I'll grab a stick and I'm pushing it towards you just a little bit.
Okay.
I'll tap it.
Obviously, every barista should
it'll
have a
get there.
coffee stick, right? That's standard
Yeah.
issue. Okay,
Uh-huh.
cool. Well, I'm just gonna let that cool down to, I don't know, human temperatures while we
Okay.
play our first game of the podcast. It's now time for everyone's favorite part of the show, the Morphing Tower mandatory safety quiz.
boy.
Okay, well, guys,
Yeah.
all together, the theme song. We practiced this.
Yeah,
Ba-da-bow, ba-da-bow,
Woohoo,
dee-dee-dee, ba-ba-da-bow, ba-ba-ba-bow, ba-ba-ba-da-bow. Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm sure that hurt no one's ears. Okay, here we go. Are you guys ready?
I'm so ready.
Yeah.
That's the confidence is just dripping off of you like hot coffee. We're
Just
ready
like
to
hot
go.
coffee.
Exactly. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to present you with a random scenario. I have a random scenario generator right here. Okay? This is company issue because they are pulling from actual safety cases that have happened within the company. And each of you are going to get a chance to respond to said scenario. And whoever gets closer to how the company actually recommends you handle this situation, that person will get a point. There will be 5 rounds, and each of you will have 1 minute to make your main point about what you do. Then after both of you have given that, each of you will give a rebuttal to the other person's. So during your main points, keep yours just about yours. You can't do any rebuttal stuff until the actual rebuttal. So it'll be a minute for main points and then 30 seconds for rebuttals for both of you. And I'll swap who starts each time. For the first round, WubDub is going to be giving his scenario answer. And I have typed this in. I've put both of your names into this generator. And the generator, I kid you not, spat out the first one. NotTooSwift and WubDub build a snowman. So now I will start your time. You have 1 minute. And just tell me what you do if you were in the Morphing Tower and you come across snow and you both decide to build a snowman. What do you do? Okay, and
What do
go.
I do? Okay. Well, first I make ball. I make snowball. I put it on the ground. And just like that one game from Mario Party Superstars where you try to knock all the other people off, you make one big ball. One continue. It'll keep going. It'll keep going.
Okay.
Then we start dumping coffee all over it, make it coffee themed.
Okay.
It'd be a coffee ball basically.
Okay.
I'll try to sell that. It'll be one giant snow coffee flavored ball.
Okay.
With and decorate it sometimes, and hopefully people, kids, children. And adults will come up to it and stick some straws into it and drink it up.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Well, that happened. Okay. All right. So I will just not say anything. So now it is your turn, Swift. What do you do? Go.
All right. So first of all, I kick the snow because I don't need it.
Okay.
I run behind the counter and I get a bunch of coffee and I put it in the freezer, let it freeze for a bit. Bam. This is a real ball of just pure coffee.
Oh my
And I
gosh.
pick up this ball. Bits of coffee are falling off of it as I'm bringing it from behind the counter and I plop it right in the floor.
What?
And then I kind of section part of the coffee ball up and build up a real coffee man, not the snowman, a coffee man.
I don't like this guy.
And then I give him his little arms and stuff. He has coffee bean eyes, and I make a fresh cup of coffee and put it on top of his head. And bam, look at that. It's a coffee man for everybody to enjoy. If you want some coffee, need some caffeine, you can take a nice little grab out of him.
Oh my
You know
God.
how it is. That's how we run things over here.
Okay. All right. So I'm just going to not say anything again, and we will go to the 30-second rebuttal. WubDub, you have 30 seconds to rebut his suggestion. Go.
Okay, here's the thing. So this is like a frozen coffee guy, pure frozen coffee, right, Swift?
Mm-hmm.
I kick him. He shatters on the ground.
No, your foot breaks.
No. Let him finish. He's got 15 seconds left.
Look. If he gets knocked over and like and a child is walking like underneath him, like what will happen, Swift? I don't think that's.
I don't think you want me to answer that.
I don't think the company.
Okay, your time's up for your rebuttal. All right, Swift,
Okay.
you now have 30 seconds to rebut.
Swift, and it's also your own child.
His original thing, not what he did to you.
Yeah, I got you.
His original, and
Okay,
go.
I mean, look at this guy's Snowman. Clearly, he just dumped some coffee on it. Like mine is hand built from the ground up, and he's taking the coward's way out. WubDub, this guy doesn't know any sort of like commitment to our brand. I swear, this guy. Like I'm telling you, one like temperature up, and this guy's melted. He's all gone. I think my guy is definitely more realistic and just safer.
Okay, that's it for both points. So let me just quickly recap here. I want to make sure I have this straight. First of all, no one said either of you had to involve coffee in your answer. That's just step one.
We have a problem.
You guys have a brand to build, I get it. But like the jump that you both made from man made of frozen water, both of you immediately leapt to hot liquids and how to use things that are hot or usually hot to make a snowman. So WubDub is basically just making a giant ice cap from Tim Hortons. That's what you're doing. You're making a giant just slushy man of iced coffee. And then Swift, not to be outdone, decides to take clumps of wet coffee grounds and make probably the most sonically displeasing snowman of just plopping just thud bricks of wet coffee grounds and sculpting a snowman out of that.
Can I say something to Swift here?
Yes.
As my business partner, Swift, I feel like we've worked on this business for lots of years, but I'm sensing some hostility. Would you like a cup of coffee?
I would love a cup of coffee. Just normal coffee, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The way you like it.
Oh yeah.
I'll just make it in the back without you looking at it.
Okay. I trust you. We've been together for years working on this business. I trust you.
Of course.
I know how you like it.
Yes, of course. This is fair. I'm legitimately baffled. This is a tough decision. One of you wanted to make a snow slushy, and the other of you literally wanted to just make a snowman out of wet coffee grounds. Neither of which are snow. So here's the thing. The actual answer. In the actual safety manual, if you come across any creature, any entity that is shaped like a human being but is not alive, we are instructed to immediately kill it so it cannot gain sentience. That is in our safety rule book because of there's been some incidents. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, so I think kicking it, NotTooSwift is gonna get a point for the kicking instinct. For the initial thought of there's a thing on the ground, I'ma kick that.
Yeah, but for mine, the children, the kids,
I'm sorry.
Slowly destroying it by sucking the life out of it.
Yeah, but that could only happen on Bring Your Kid to Work Day, and that only happens the one time a year. Oh yeah, that's another thing. If you see children running around this place, you need to report that immediately because they are not supposed to be in here.
Oh, I thought that was just more. Okay.
I don't even want to know. Round 2. Here we go. So now I'm just gonna refresh this old thing. And the scenario is WubDub and NotTooSwift clean WubDub's closet. We will start with NotTooSwift. You have a minute, go.
All right, let's just open the. Oh my god! WubDub, you really need to clean your closet. There's so much why is everything in here like Sonic related? Dude, there's Sonic
Oh,
slippers.
man.
There's a Sonic onesie. There's so many action figures, and why are they all so like dusty? How long have you had these? This is, dude. Why is the wallpaper is Sonic too? What the?
There's
Dude,
wallpaper
there's
in
a
the
Sonic
closet.
blanket.
Oh man.
Is there anything in here that no, it's literally all just Sonic related. There's even what is this? It looks like a DVD set of Sonic Underground every episode, which
Sonic
show.
Underground.
it's a pretty good show. But I think you have a serious issue, WubDub. Oh my goodness. We gotta work on this.
All right, that's your time. Great job.
You didn't even
Okay.
solve anything. You just
that was-
roasted me.
Nothing wrong with that.
All right, WubDub, your minute has started now.
I opened my door
Uh-huh.
and and just like how Big Nate opens his locker in the Big Nate books, all my Sonic merchandise spills out.
Okay.
I can't deny this. I'm a huge Sonic fan. Okay.
Okay,
I
all
love
right.
me some Sonic,
Okay.
but I know it can get like a little overbearing sometimes, a little over hedgehog.
That's not a thing, but continue.
Moving on. So yeah, here's what I do. I get boiling hot coffee.
Oh my
and
gosh.
I make sure it's
Oh
like
no.
it's really hot. It's really hot enough to start. I'll get the acid kind, the one that I gave to you earlier.
You gave me never mind. Keep going.
Yeah. I start taking gallons of that and I start pouring it into the closet. All right, it'll clear some space.
That's time. All right.
Okay.
So, all right, we'll do a rebuttal. Not too swift. You get 30 seconds to rebut acid coffee. Go.
Well, I mean, let's be real here. I feel like we should be using our acid coffee for more sustainable purposes, like giving them out to customers. But anyways,
No!
we're not trying to waste
No!
any product over here. And I also just think it's unsafe for your Sonic collection. Like I think you could at least like sell that stuff somewhere, right? Surely we could like sell it, like to maybe some customers. I was just stuck in awe. I couldn't even do anything.
Okay, that's time. That's time. All right. Okay, WubDub, your rebuttal. Go.
I have to work with the same prompt because yet again Swift just kind of roasted me. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so after I throw in the acid coffee, okay, this is what do I do? I start filling up the closet with coffee spill
Oh my
themed
gosh.
merch.
Oh my gosh. And
All right.
that's time.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so yet again, both of you unprompted are just adding coffee to this scenario for no reason, okay? So let's pick this apart for a second. So, NotTooSwift, the prompt was WubDub and NotTooSwift clean WubDub's closet. And all NotTooSwift has done was to say, "Oh my goodness, look at all the Sonic stuff." So your step one stun locked you so hard that you were unable to actually clean it at first. You were just looking at it. Oh, we'll get to you.
Gosh dang.
We'll get to you. And then your answer was just to take boiling acid and just sort of fling it into the closet with all the stuff, which arguably will melt whatever it touches. But I would also posit the acid will continue to eat downwards and just create a giant pit.
You know what I say to that? Not my problem.
Wow. Excellent point. We love the perspective of a non-homeowner. So you're melting your floor, right?
Yes.
And you just melted a lot of, I'm going to guess you didn't get everything, right? I don't think you could actually melt everything at once, but you have created a pit that you could sort of just push the remaining Sonic stuff in until it's level with the floor and then just like lay a carpet over that, I guess. So that is an interesting...
Just like a body.
I think, you know what? I think, okay, hear me out. Selling Sonic merch
Oh.
with hot coffee versus
actually a valid point.
melting it to make room for merchandise. I think I'm gonna have to give the point to WubDub here for actually getting rid of it as quickly as possible. And the only reason why he had to is because Swift was the one who created a mountain of Sonic stuff that wasn't there before.
You arguably filled up the closet.
You filled his closet with Sonic stuff.
I mean, hey, I'm not complaining.
Been
Really.
the same way.
Okay, that happened. Round 3. And I will refresh the generator. NotTooSwift and WubDub go to a kickboxing class.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. All right. WubDub, you're up and go.
Oh, kickboxing. Okay. I'm gonna try my best not to mention any coffee this time.
Please
Okay,
try.
So we show up to this kickboxing thing, and naturally, we I want to learn some stuff. So,
Okay.
I say, hey Swift, let's do some sparring matches, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So he agrees to that. We're kickboxing each other, and I say, Swift, I think we need a water break.
Oh no.
So we go to our stations, and I switched
Don't
out
do it.
Swift's water.
Don't do it. Don't you do it.
With
Don't.
poison coffee.
Dang
so the
you!
coffee's back. And I'm like, Swift, go ahead, take a sip. Take a sip. I don't need no more time. I'm done.
Okay. So all right. NotTooSwift, your time starts now. Go.
All right, so me and WubDub, we opened the door. WubDub's been bullying recently, been bullied recently, so I'm here to help him out because little does he know, when I was younger, I used to do a lot of martial arts and various things in that umbrella. So I'm here, I'm teaching WubDub some stuff. You know how it is. We're sparring, and he's like, I think I need a water break. And I'm like, okay, WubDub, let's go get some water. He turns his back to me. I kick him in the back of his leg, and he falls to the ground. I'm like, WubDub, water is for quitters. Never let your guard down in here. Have some coffee.
Oh my gosh, you can't stop. You must stop. You have 20 seconds. That's okay. You rest your case. Okay. Alrighty. All right. So rebuttals. We'll start with you, WubDub. Here we go. Don't you do it.
Okay, so I'm on the ground at this point because he kicked me, right? So what I do is I fold myself because I'm made out of paper.
Oh.
I fold myself into a paper plane, right? And I have a really sharp edge.
Oh.
So I'm flying around. And I'm like, Swift, it's been many years. It's come down to this. I make noises with my mouth, and I land into his eye.
Oh.
Into a giant pool of coffee.
Stop! No! You were doing so good. Okay. All right. Swift, 30-second rebuttal, go.
So WubDub hands me this coffee, I'm drinking it. I'm like, this tastes a little foul. This isn't my usual WubDub. What exactly did you put in this? And WubDub looks at me and he goes, poison. I'm like, WubDub, you can't be serving that to me. That is wasted product, like I was saying earlier. This guy doesn't know how to use the stuff. Like, and then I just, I fall over. I keel to the ground. I'm on my knees, begging for life. And then I remember my training, and I kick him.
Okay.
I guess
it's time. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's just recap. So you guys go to a kickboxing class, okay? And Swift is trying to look out for you, WubDub, because of all the bullying that you've received for your Sonic collection. And so he takes you to kickboxing so you can kick every bully in the back of the head who makes fun of your ridiculous, over-the-top, half-melted Sonic collection. And so you guys start battling. He offers you a drink. But little do you know, as you go, your intention is to bring him poisoned coffee. But before you get there, he kicks you in the back of the leg. You fold like paper. You fold into a paper airplane. You fly. You poke him in the eye. he drinks the coffee you brought him back in plain form because you just.
Can I add one more thing?
What?
Whenever I transform into the paper airplane, the transformers transform sound effect plays.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to do that with your mouth right now.
Oh, okay.
Now.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. All right. That will be taken note of for tallying. So good. Swift, I'm gonna need you to make a Transformers transforming sound, please.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Okay.
talented.
Wow. So both of you were planning on cheating to kill the other person. So I just need to start off with that. You both were planning on cheating, and then you both cheated, and one of you gets poisoned, but before you die, your plan was to remember your training and kick him, which this is a kickboxing class, and if you climbed the mountain with the purple flower, gave it to the man on top of it, and he trained you, and the only thing you learned was kick, I mean, I don't know what to say to that.
Trust.
Trust. I have to say, I'm gonna have to give it to WubDub, not because I think he'd win in a fight, but because of the Transformers sound effect was better.
Oh, I came in clutch with that one.
me.
Jeez.
You sounded like a woodchuck getting throttled.
And a wood chipper.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Well, alrighty. Round 4. Here we go. Oh no. Okay. WubDub and NotTooSwift go to a rodeo. Okay, but this is going to be a qualifier. So normally at a rodeo, you got bulls, right? And you got to stay on the bull as long as you can, right? Here's the problem, though. I also have a fantasy creature generator open. I'm just going to read you what it decided to vomit out for you. Size, extra large, diet, carnivore, eats flesh, body, fish-like, travel, it walks, legs, it has 2 legs. And then there's some emojis for some reason. Ideas. Can smell things most other creatures can't. Oh, sorry. I gotta read this correctly. Can smell things most others creatures can't. Can taste things most others creatures can't. And it has a thought bubble emoji-shaped thighs. Thanks, fantasy creature generator.
What the?
Let's see, who started last round? WubDub started last round, so NotTooSwift, you're going to go first. So go ahead. You have 1 minute to tell me how you go about doing this. Go.
All right, I'm looking at this thing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I do not want to do this. WubDub, we should leave. So I look at him, and I'm like, let's leave. But then he convinces me to stay. He's like, Swift, you were born for this. Okay, let's be real. I'll buy you some popcorn if you do this. And I'm like, okay. You know what? That's good enough for me, WubDub.
That's all it takes.
So I'm like, I'm cracking my knuckles, I'm stretching, and I leap. I'm soaring out of the stands onto this thing because it's like a fish-like creature. So obviously it has to have a fin on its back, right? So I'm holding on to its fin for as long as I can. And I'm getting skill checks. Little does anybody know, I used to play Minecraft story mode when I was younger, and that had a lot of skill checks.
Okay.
So I'm locked in. I'm holding on for dear life. I'm barely holding on, but I am holding on. And I let out a war cry. I go, ah, and it scares the fish. It scares the fish, and he flings me off. But I stayed on.
That's time. We'll wait to see how long you held on for. Okay. All right. We'll figure that out later. Okay. WubDub, same question. Go.
We come up into this opening. The fish is there. It's sitting there, like glaring at us. And I say, I reach out my hand to the back, protecting Swift. And I'm like, stop right there. and I raise my other hand, just like that scene from the Jurassic Park movie with the Chris Pratt, how he's holding up his hand all the time. In every single scene he's in.
Yes.
So I do that, and I'm like, hey there, whoa there. So I slowly sneak up to him. It's simplest movement out of anything, I feel like. And so I slowly get on his back, very gracefully. And then it starts to get up. It senses me. And I grab my handy dandy coffee cup filled with poison coffee, and I put it in the eyes. And it's thrashing around. I'm on it. I'm like, ah!
That's time. Okay. Wow. Who could have seen that coming? Okay. Rebuttal, NotTooSwift, go.
Okay. So WubDub, he puts his hand in front of me or whatever. He's like, "Don't worry, I got you." Whatever. WubDub. He's walking up to this guy all slowly. This abomination of a creature has no sort of self-control or empathy, so it looks at WubDub and it just runs him over. It dashes straight to him and crumples him like the little piece of paper he is. Now he's still alive because he's paper. That wouldn't kill him, but he is crumpled and wrinkly. And I have to.
That's time.
All right.
Okay. All right. Okay. WubDub, go.
Since I'm made out of paper, right, and it eats meat, I would say I'm kind of invincible. So so as Swift is thrashing around with this thing, it tosses him. No, it tosses him off of his back. He lands on the ground, and then it jumps up. Lands on its back on top of Swift. And I'm eating my popcorn. I bought popcorn. I came back, and I'm just eating popcorn.
And that's time. Okay. Well,
Dude.
Alrighty. So, let's recap. So we have two very different approaches, okay? We have the Nacho Libre approach, and we have the How to Train Your Dragon approach, okay? Very different. I like it. So, Swift's objective is to, if you went to a rodeo, it would be like jumping the wall into the bullpen before you're loaded up. Because both of you have failed to realize a rodeo, you start on the bull and then you get released from the thing. Both of you just decided to go for it, okay? Both of you just vaulted over the safety walls. One of you literally lunged at it, trying to grab at its fin before it gets up on its two legs. And the other of you walks out slowly in front of it, hoping, praying that it doesn't charge you. Okay, so here's the thing. I like both of these answers a lot, actually. I think they're very inspired, okay? So one thing that I know is that based on the stats the thing is giving me, it can smell things most others creatures can't. That's what it says. And can taste things most others creatures can't. So its desire for human flesh doesn't really work because it can taste things that most other creatures can't. So I think it would still have an appetite for paper because it's like a connoisseur. It would be able to taste paper and be like, ooh, that's a really good notebook paper circa 1980. You know what I mean? It's got like a palate for it. So in this very specific instance, the fact that you're made of paper, that is probably going to hurt you here. Just a little.
Oh, no.
I'm going to say, I think I'm going to have to give this one to Swift for just jumping in. Because if it is carnivorous and you walk out slowly, it will try to kill you. All right? Like, it will charge you. It doesn't know that you're made of paper when you're walking towards it. Now, if you had said I turned to the side like Flat Stanley and it can't see you at all, then we'd have a discourse because you could just sort of shuffle sideways. But no, you walked straight forward at him like a stop sign. And you're basically
Swift, man.
He also hates Australians, so the initial accent really is going to hurt you there. I'm going to give the point to Swift, which means that it is now tied 2-2. All right? We are going to do our last round. All right?
No. I would also like to point out, like, I love how, like, me and Swift's first instinct, we come across the rodeo, and we're like, we gotta break the record.
Yeah, you guys aren't even supposed to be competing necessarily. Like, I mean, it could be assumed, but rodeos are also things people just go to watch. You both jumped into the pen without talking to anyone.
We're highly competitive. What can we say?
Okay, so I'm gonna do the next generator. This will be round 5. Okay. Oh no. Swift, I fear for your safety on this one. NotTooSwift and WubDub go on a hike. Okay, hold on. I think WubDub is gonna start. You have a minute. Or wait. Yes. You start. And go.
We're hiking, but I say we're hiking onto a pathway, a very greenery scene. filled with trees. You know, I say, Swift, so beautiful, isn't it? And he's like, yeah. You know, it feels good retiring after, you know, selling coffee for all these years. I'm just like, yeah, man. We sit down, we take a look at the sunset. It's going down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, Swift, you've been a good friend for all these years. You've been a good business partner. I think it's time that you try out my cup of coffee.
Dang you.
No, it's a good coffee this time. It won't kill you. I say that to him because he makes like a doubtful face.
Okay.
And then he sips it. We both have a good time.
Wholesome, and that's time. Okay. All right. I fear for your rebuttal. Okay. All right. Swift, you got a minute? Go.
I love nature, so I'm like, all right, WubDub. After our retirement, we should go on a walk, and we're walking. Things are nice, and so we sit down on a bench, and we're just talking about how good our business has been.
Mm-hmm.
And he offers me like a hug, and I'm like, sure, WubDub, and I give him a hug, and then bam, there's cops everywhere surrounding WubDub at gunpoint, and I'm like, it's about time. They're holding him at gunpoint, and I'm like, WubDub, you have poisoned way too many of our customers, and you're finally getting the punishment you deserve. And I slowly back away from him as he looks at me with disgust and betrayal, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry I had to be this way, WubDub. That's all.
Okay. All right. Wow. Okay. All right. You've got 30 seconds for a rebuttal. WubDub, go.
I'm in jail. I give up hope. I at this point they're asking me. You know, I hadn't seen Swift for years.
Of course.
I'm gonna. They're gonna take my life soon from in the chair. And they're like, "What do you want for your last meal?" And I'm like,
"Don't do it.
Bring me one last.
Don't.
Cup of coffee."
And time's up. Okay. And Swift. And go.
And so I drink this cup of coffee that WubDub gives me, and I'm surprised. I'm shocked. He wasn't lying. It's actually normal coffee, and I start to have doubts about the unfortunate future that he will soon face. But for now, I just try to pretend like nothing will happen because I know it's too late, and I enjoy my time with him, and we reminisce on our past.
What? Okay, and that's time.
These are like two different alternate universes.
Wow. Okay, so all right, let's pick this apart real quick. So you guys go on a hike, and both of you assume that the only time you guys will ever go on a hike is in the future when you're retired. Okay? So that's the first thing, is both of you guys are like, we can't go on a hike. We got to retire first. And then you go to a nice bench, somewhere where you can watch the sunset. And WubDub, possibly one of the first times in his life, gives Swift an untainted, pure, non-poisoned cup of coffee.
First time for everything, man.
And the whole time, it was a sting operation because the cops were just waiting for WubDub to offer someone coffee. So here's the thing. What I find really interesting, first of all, the fact that you built your business around serial coffee poisoning is somewhat frightening. I don't know how I feel about that. Or the fact that you're assuming that you won't be caught until, like, years in the future, right? So in what city you're living in, there's just going to be mystery death cases for like 50 years.
They're going to make a BuzzFeed Unsolved episode on me.
Exactly. Who's the coffee poisoner? Why is everyone dying? And why does everyone have giant holes where their stomachs used to be? And no one will be able to piece it together. And you voluntarily, as part of your answer, put yourself in death row, and then Swift voluntarily did not save you. I don't know how to feel about either of these answers. You literally allowed yourself to be taken to the chair having a cup of coffee. I could have sworn that Swift was planning some sort of crazy escape situation, but no, he's just like, well, I guess he's dead. Time to drink some coffee. This is conflicting. This is very conflicting. I guess there's only one thing we can do, and that's figure out how long each of you managed to ride the fish monster. And this is how we decide, okay? Alrighty? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up random number generator.
Maybe
1 through 10. Okay? So remember, the longer you last, the more, okay? So I'm going to have it pick 2 random numbers between 1 and 10. And we're going to figure out who lasted longer on the fish monster, okay?
This is really intense.
Okay.
All the character
I am baffled right now. It would appear that NotTooSwift managed to stay on the fish monster for 10 seconds.
Let's go.
Oh, jeez.
And WubDub managed to stay on the fish monster for 4 seconds.
Oh,
Yikes.
no.
Yikes.
Look, it's much harder for me, man. Like, I'm a little piece of paper. I'm so light.
Yeah, he bucks one time and you just sort of float off. That would be very difficult. And then just an awkward couple seconds of you drifting to the floor, I suppose. I think NotTooSwift ends up with the W on this one.
Too easy.
And all it cost was him letting his friend die.
I hate this.
Sometimes you have to make sacrifices in life.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta wait till you retire to do the right thing. That's the other thing. You're also a horrible person. You waited until the future to do this. Why? Why did you wait till retirement to do this?
You let all those innocent people die, so
Yeah.
it
No,
wasn't
there's
even
no
my
excuses. There's none. There's no excuses at all. None.
Do you guys want a cup of coffee?
No, I don't. I've heard the word coffee more in the last 43 minutes than I have in my entire life. Okay. So, we're going to switch over now to some fun little questions. First, we're going to do a little icebreaker. I'll start with WubDub, then go Swift on this one. This is a question I like to ask people. I wish I asked it more often because it really tells me a lot about them. And it's just a fun one. So the question is, WubDub, if you could go to any place and have it completely emptied of people, you have the entire area to yourselves and a select group of friends, say 3 to 5, and you just have full run of a place for 24 hours, where are you going? What's that place?
It's dark. It's midnight.
Mm-hmm.
Corn maze.
Ooh, fun. You wanted... Okay.
I was leaning towards a funny answer, but I'm slowly realizing that that'll actually be fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we could. I don't know. We'll just run into the maze, and whoever doesn't chicken out. Wins.
You know, what'd be really fun is if there was a campsite where you could do that. Like, get there on like a Friday evening, and you hike in the dark through the maze, and at the center you can like set up your tents for a campground, and then the next morning you walk out.
Oh, and whoever just doesn't make it.
Yeah, bummer.
Dead.
Bummer.
Well, we're assuming they like open up the next day, maybe, and then so whoever gets to the observation deck first will see somebody out there screaming for help. So they won't be there forever. But a corn maze is a dope answer. I like that a lot, actually. What about you, Swift?
All right. We're at Disney World with the boys, dude.
Oh, the whole of Disney World to yourself. That is
Park,
also...
Every park,
Yep.
easy access. Like, I'm talking, you can throw an ender pearl and bam, you'll be over there.
You'll be wherever you want to be. Those are both really different but very interesting answers. I like both of those. So now I have 2 separate questions because I wanted to ask you guys about like creative process, right? So I'm going to start. We'll do the same order because I wanted to hear from both of you on this one. So WubDub. So the question is, why do you like to create things? And I keep it bland just because I know both of you create different things, different mediums, different whatever. Yeah. But why do you like to create things?
It's I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of hard to like go serious mode instead of like coming up with a funny answer after all that. But I talk about this all the time. But whenever I grew up, I grew up like watching YouTube, and I still watch a lot of YouTube, and you know, I see those big names, and I can't wait for the next upload. I don't know. I just like being that next person to kind of give entertainment and like a fun way of passing time.
That's really cool. I think that's really cool that you're coming at it from the perspective of this is what I had, and so your motivation is not wanting to merely like seize something for yourself. It's more like I want other people to have the same experience that I had, which was like creators that you like look up to, or you like that people that inspire you.
It's like the different YouTube channels that I've like grown up watching. They're just whole different worlds and like different pieces of lore in my head. That's
I like that. I like that a lot. What about you, Swift?
I feel like WubDub took my answer. To be honest, I really
classic WubDub.
Basically agree with everything he said, and I literally don't know what to say because of that. But I've always watched content from a young age, and you know, there's a lot of creators that inspired me, and I wanted to be like those creators because you know, they made me happy, and I always thought they were really cool, and I would love to be that, and for somebody to see that and want to do the same thing.
Yeah.
To inspire.
Yeah, and I think to add to your point, something that I find so fascinating is like if you scroll into the comment section of like a lot of these, like let's say beloved creators where there's really no controversy surrounding them at all, I would say a vast majority of the comments are like people who are active watchers. But every once in a while, you'll get like a returning viewer who hasn't watched in a while, and they'll just leave a sweet comment, something like, I was going through a really tough time, and these videos helped me get through that. Like they gave me some joy, like when I was having a really bad day, or I just got back from a really bad day at work, and this legitimately like made my day better. And like it's just little things like that. I think that's the good aspect of the comment section, where a creator can hear directly from their audience that they are having an impact, that they are making a difference. Not necessarily in some giant world-shaking global kind of way, but more in the sense of like affecting people on an interpersonal level and like making a difference to individual people, I think is super, super cool. And it's cool that both of you share that vision in a similar way, just because you guys do collab a lot. Like you are working together on the podcast. And I think I mentioned this, or maybe I haven't mentioned it. I found you guys' podcast like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago, roughly. And the first episode I came across, I'm trying to remember. I think it was with Saturn Summer. And I listened to the whole thing, and the thumbnail caught my eye, but also like the view count caught my eye, and the fact that it was a podcast. So it was the trifecta. I was like, interesting thumbnail, interesting fact that it's a smaller podcast, because that's mostly what I'm interested in.
Yeah.
And then also just the entire vibe of the episode was just so like uplifting. It wasn't negative. It was just very happy and just very fun. The entire vibe was very it was just easy listening, if that makes sense.
I have a question for you. Like, how did you find that episode?
To be honest, so what I usually do is, so since I started the Morphing Tower podcast, for some reason, YouTube, since like that's something that's attached to my channel, oftentimes it will put similar types of videos, or what it thinks are similar types of videos, in my recommendeds, anything that has like podcast in it. So what sometimes I'll do is I'll just like scroll down the entire right side of my page and then hit Control F and then just search the word podcast, and then just click the down arrow and try and find smaller ones. I don't think I even necessarily did that for your podcast in general, but I'm usually on the hunt for that sort of thing. For like potential guests, but also just like other creators that I can support and send some encouragement their way. Because obviously there are some people out there who have podcasts where there's no like way to get in touch with them for a collab, even if I wanted to, but I'll still leave comments just encouraging them to like keep going, because it can be so daunting. And I feel like you guys, since both of you have some viewers on your own channels, that probably helped you guys a lot, because people are there to like see what you guys make together, which is super cool, because I feel like by doing so, you're sort of uniting those audiences, which is super cool. Whenever I love collaborations, I just think that's so awesome. I love that. And like what was really fascinating is like actively while I was listening to the podcast, I was actively like getting excited for like the future projects that you guys were talking about. And this was a question that I wanted to ask. So like, you guys are talking about, like, you guys do Minecraft events. And I'm not going to lie, a lot of the times I've been listening to the podcast and I'm like, I have no idea what these two people are talking about at all. I know they're Minecraft events, and I know that they, like, the both of them, like, lead them sometimes, or like started them, or were asked to be in them, or you have to like qualify. There were a lot of different questions. So I guess, can one of you just explain like what those Minecraft events are and how they work?
Well, there's a huge variety.
Right. Let's stick with the ones you've done. Stick with the ones you've done.
Many. I'll let WubDub get some talk time too for this. So I'm gonna only talk about a specific side. There's a side of Minecraft events that's more civilization based, where people will run experiments with like 100 players, and like 50 of them are in one area, 50 of them are in another area, and they just see what happens.
Oh, okay.
And so I ran an event. I don't know if I would call it a civilization event, but it's the closest thing you can get to describing it.
Okay.
Is like that. So basically there were 4 different like quadrants, and they all had their own different themes, and they were separated until a certain point later on in the event. But every 10 days, a natural disaster would occur.
Oh.
And they would have to find ways to survive them and just utilize their environment, do all sorts of fun stuff. And I really like that side of the events. And I also like the more sweaty side, which I will let WubDub get into now if you'd like.
Oh, jeez. Like Swift said, there's like a huge variety. Think of it as here's how I like to think of it. You know how you log into Roblox and there's like a whole bunch of different games that people make?
Yep.
It's kind of like that, but with Minecraft events. You log into Minecraft, and if you're looking to join in online events, there is just a whole bunch of different options that other people host. So I kind of like to step my foot in like 2 different categories here. I like to participate in some Minecraft Survivors. If you know what that show is, Survivor.
Yes.
It's that, except just in Minecraft.
Oh.
And the other type is like skill-based competitions, like tournaments or whatever. It's usually split up by 10 different teams. There can be ones filled with only content creators, which is the ones I like to do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you just kind of with any skill-based competition, it's I feel like you can expect what vibe is there.
That's really cool, and I like both of those actually for like different reasons, because like growing up, like my experience with Minecraft was like the base game, and then like if you go way back on the gaming channel, you can find my brother and I trying to play like Sky Wars, and it is so bad. It is so bad. The laptop I was using, like you can hear the fan going like while it's recording. It was so bad. It was horrendous. Yeah, classic, a true classic, aged like fine cheese. It was great. But we played like some Sky Wars, and I was not good at PvP at all. So I have so much like respect and admiration for people who like are good at that. But then also like, to Swift's point, that's such a cool idea for an event. I like that a lot too.
Thank you.
Like
it's
that's
all original.
That's such a unique concept, and I actually think having 4 quadrants. I think having quadrants is cooler for that sort of game than just having it split right down the middle. For like, I guess there's more possibilities and more variation for how the natural disasters affect each quadrant, instead of feeling like you just got very lucky being on the right or the left based on like where the dividing line is. I feel like more different things, there's more variation going on when you have 4 teams that I like. Possibilities for like team ups and betrayals, there's just way more openness.
Absolutely. I kind of want to dip into that a little bit. Each team has its own like theme and stuff, and there was I think it was day 40 or day 30, I can't remember, because this event was
like in game days.
A bit ago.
Right.
Yes,
right.
Where we did a regional themed disaster. So my team, we were like crimson like nether theme and all that. So we had a fire tornado.
Oh
It was pretty
gosh,
crazy.
that
Ice
sounds.
team had like a blizzard. The snow team had a sandstorm, and the truffle team, which is like mushrooms.
Of course.
We couldn't really think of the best thing for that, so we just did acid rain because it kind of matches up with poison.
Okay.
And spores are kind of toxic, so it kind of made sense. I didn't have the best options at the time, but that's just what we ran with. It's really cool to see the diversity.
I like that. I like that a lot. So, don't have too much time here left as far as talking points, but I was reminded of something before I was ready to hit the record button, and that is me thinking back to some trolling that I used to do on Minecraft Pocket Edition. This was back when the app, I don't think this was the free version, but it was back far enough where the bot app was only slightly better than Pocket Edition Lite, like only slightly. So basically, what I would do is I would join this one server that was public because you couldn't password protect it back then. If it was attached to the network, you could just join. And so what I would do is, it was at a place I was doing school. This was many years ago. And so basically what I would do is I'd have my math book open. I'm sitting across the room. It's like a cafeteria kind of. And these kids are playing on the opposite end. And so what I did, because in that version, you could change your username to whatever right before you joined. There was no, you could change it an infinite number of times. So obviously I changed it to Herobrine, obviously. Because I thought it would be fun.
I knew it. I was literally about to. I almost interrupted you saying like, and then he was Herobrine.
So I changed it, which is so dumb because you can see the pupils on the player model and everything, but it didn't matter because I didn't tell anyone at this thing that I was at that I had bought an iPod for myself. So nobody knew that I had the capability to do this because I'm just sitting across the room reading my math book, right? And anytime somebody would get near me, I'd just take my phone, put it on top of my knee, and lift my leg up into the table so it just disappeared. And basically, I would just troll them for actual hours, and I could hear them from across the room. I wouldn't look up because I didn't want to give anything away, but they were getting so freaked out because this is when we were much younger, and Herobrine was much more of a thing. And so I did that at that place, and then I also did it at a friend's birthday. And I do not know where he got this idea. So I was telling them that I was playing like a bird game. I can't even remember what it's called. But you like press and hold and the bird would like duck down. It's not Flappy Bird. It's the one where you press and hold and... What is it?
Angry Birds?
No, not Angry Birds. I know what Angry Birds is. I can't remember what it's called. But basically you crest hills as a bird and like you can get air, basically.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember what it's called.
Duck Life?
What?
Duck Life, is that what that reminds me of?
I can't remember what it's called. It's going to drive me crazy. I'll figure it out later. But basically, I was telling them that that's what I was playing, but nobody was like checking my phone to see if I was lying. So I'm in the same living room as them. And all I'm doing is I'm getting into the game as Herobrine. They all freak out. I run up. I build an H out of cobblestone. I run away. And then before they can catch me, I leave. And they're freaking out because they don't realize that it's literally the person sitting 5 feet next to them. So I keep doing this, but then I was like, what if I start screwing with them? So I started mining trees and bringing them resources and dropping them on the ground and running away. And they were legitimately like, this is so weird. He doesn't usually do this. Why is he being nice to us? They legitimately thought Herobrine was in their game giving them stuff. The other benefit is, since their Wi-Fi was so taxed with the number of laptops and iPods connected to it, I had lag on my side. So I was basically getting iframes, kind of. Because I joined the game, they'd try and punch me, nothing would happen. I'd mine out an H in one of their cobblestone towers, jump out, land, live, and then quit. And they were so freaked out, and they all thought it was legit. And it wasn't until hours later that I was like, yeah, that was me. That was me the whole time.
Oh, dear.
What a prankster.
Oh, man.
This dude was... Who would troll their friends at a birthday party?
Never.
Brian.
My parents literally gave me trick candles at one of my birthdays when I was really little, so I don't want to hear it. It's called revenge, okay?
I know what that's like.
Yeah, it sucked. It's terrible. I hate trick candles. If I was to go back in time and stop something from being invented, it would either be glitter or trick candles. One of the two.
Why glitter?
Because I was a janitor for years.
Oh,
It's
dear,
essentially
okay.
just reflective dust. You can't get rid of it. It's just there until the heat death of the universe. There will be glitter just everywhere.
That's the answer. That's the answer to the end of life.
Is
Glitter.
at least there's glitter at the end.
At least.
At least there's glitter at the end. Well, with that, I'm going to wrap us up here. Thank you both so much for being on the Morphing Tower podcast. And real quick, I just want to give you guys a chance to plug anything. WubDub, you got anything to plug, or like tell people where they can watch your stuff?
I'm mainly a YouTuber, pretty much. YouTube, big YouTuber guy. YouTube.com/WubDub.
Swift?
I'm always on Twitch at least 5 days a week at twitch.tv/NotTooSwift. You can catch me playing some Minecraft. You know how it is. Wait, Matt. Really quick.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to end this send off really nice. Can you just like shake my hand? You know?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
This
This
firm
is a nice
grip
shake.
there.
Yeah.
I just spilled coffee all
sorry.
over.
Oh, my hand is melting off.
Oh my god.
My hand. Why?
Oh.
Ow! I can see
Take
my
off your shirt.
bones.
Yeah. It's off.
Give me your shirt.
Here you go. I am so sorry.
I am so burned.
Well, it was great meeting you.
Ow!